Walking down this lonely road, damn near almost lost my soul. But now that I'm in control, what they gon' do? Can no evil hold me down? Let no evil hold me down. When your will is on the ground, what you gon' do? I won't go for anything that isn't in direction of the boom. Don't never let anything come in between, 'cause surely you will lose. Inhale the atmosphere, brushing fear right off the shoulders. Looking around, couldn't find anyone. Feel like the world getting colder. Yeah, I'm motivated, we won't stop until we are over. Yeah, and I won't look back, no. Won't look back, no. 'Cause it's only a matter of time that we in here, dog. Homie said you need to get involved. Ain't no looking back, ain't no other way around it, dog. You got everything you need on guard. Just honing your faith and your power. Trust we could witness as ours. No, this is not just a dream. Keeping you up early every hour, but it just doesn't make sense. What good is this life if all we do is pretend? Trying to see the light, but darkness wants to creep in. Way up in my mind, wanna push me off the deep end. Wait, slow down, hone it now. If you believe, then you better breathe it. Walking down this lonely road, damn near almost lost my soul. But now that I'm in control, what they gon' do? Can no evil hold me down? Let no evil hold me down. When your will is on the ground, what you gon' do? I won't go for anything that isn't in direction of the boom. Don't never let anything come in between, 'cause surely you will lose. Introspect, take a sec, watch your step, where you step, when you step, falling free through the sky, feel the breeze, feel the eye, all your fears, let them die, energy never lies. Introspect, take a second, let your world unfold,
falling free through the sky.
I just wanna feel right, I'm so tired of being lost,
All your fears, let them die,
wings take flight.
energy never lies.
There's nothing we cannot handle. Light up the dark like a candle. Usually they misunderstand you. Yeah. Give a damn if they can't relate. All we want is to motivate. Take it on, never hesitate. Acknowledge it, but then make it. We are the ones in control. We are the ones in control. Just honing your faith and your power. Trust we could witness as ours. No, this is not just a dream. Take on the world and devour. Walking down this lonely road, damn near almost lost my soul. But now that I'm in control, what they gon' do? Can no evil hold me down? Let no evil hold me down. When your will is on the ground, what you gon' do? I won't go for anything that isn't in direction of the moon. Don't never let anything come in between, 'cause surely you will lose. Yeah, we only getting started, but you know I got to bang it. Yeah, we're shooting for the stars, you know you got to aim it. Yeah, this goes out to the ones who doubt it. How you gonna see with your eyes so clouded? Look to the sky, feed your mind rerouted. Damn, it's been a long, long day. I done came a long, long way. I've been feeling all kind of restless. Getting to it, what can I say? Soaking up game like a lesson. Spirit too strong, that's a blessing. Rather elevate into outer space. You could go insane, lose your way from the stressing. And I ain't really on that. Gotta take it higher, yeah, we're on that. We will never stop, we'll never fall back. This is that, I need more of that. Gotta take it higher like you're on that. Gonna take it higher, yeah, we're on that. Whoa. I hear you screaming on the inside. You gotta let it go, let your mind ride. Yeah, we only getting started, but you know I got to bang it. Yeah, we're shooting for the stars, you know you got to name it. Yeah,
Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome to E Black TV. This is E Black. Salute to everybody. Today is our second edition of season four, talking about the adaptive behavior. Season four is about authentic, adaptive, and aberrant behavior. We're going to have basically the rest of the season based on these ideologic ideas. Yesterday we had a good day. Very long stream, very long stream. I'm telling y'all right now, I ain't about to do all that today. I ain't doing that today. Today I'm actually gonna do a very short, just very short, probably 15, 20 minutes in regards to adaptive behavior. I think because yesterday we covered so much in regards to everything that go back, look at it if you can search around and see that we covered a lot of things. But today is really just about talking about adaptive behavior or discussing adaptive behavior. Um, so salute to everybody. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you're catching this on replay, make sure you comment your favorite parts. If you want to be a part of the Facebook group, please join the Facebook group. Also, the Facebook page I have. Also, be a part of the Black Pride membership.
Salute to the Black Pride on E Black TV. Easy work, easy work, easy work.
Also, um, IG, all that stuff. So anyhow, salute to everybody. I'm gonna like I said, be very brief. There's some stuff actually I want to watch. Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. I actually do want to watch some stuff that's happening tonight. So I appreciate everybody for showing up. But let's get into this. So yesterday we talked in regards to the four different behavioral types: authentic behavior, adaptive behavior, aberrant behavior. As you can see, adaptive behavior is when you have a high regard, deep respect for oneself. You're living in a high environmental effect zone. This is where normally most people in America, especially African Americans in America, live or operate in. We're constantly affected by our environment, the microaggressions, the racism, police, economy, historical factors. There's a lot of things that are truly affecting us from being our true, authentic selves, um, even amongst our own people. And then not only that, because this is a diverse country, even our own true selves, we have to become adaptive in that because authentically we are still learning how to navigate the system. So once again, authentic, just to recap real quick, is authentic is when you're truly yourself, when you're truly operating in your own stuff culturally. These are behavioral markers. When 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 you always want to have or test your response to your environment, you always look at to your culture. Am I operating within my culture? Am I getting the consequences from my culture? Am I getting the benefits from my culture? These are things that humans are naturally in need of. This is studied. This is what it is. This is not something I just made up. This is actually scientifically fact in regards to behavioral culture. Um, so when you talk about adaptive culture, how do black people adapt to to an environment in regards to how that is very harsh to their everyday life? Think about it. How do we operate? We do things like code switch. We do things like how do I say we congregate outside of say normal society, and we wait until we get home to really be our authentic selves, which is all fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I once again I just want to reiterate the fact that these are behaviors that I want people to identify and be able to identify as we kind of move throughout uh this kind of season and whatnot. So let's kind of get through some basic stuff. Let me go through my notes right quick. It is when you talk about adaptive behavior, it is kind of like the ability to kind of navigate through or maybe even adjust through their environment. It involves practical, everyday social and practical skills that are necessary for independent living and functioning in daily life. Adaptive behavior encompasses a range of skills across different domains, um, contexts, and it's psychological stuff. So, you know, one thing that we can talk about is self care. I have a clip that I'm going to play in regards to how, as Black people, when we go through, say, finding a doctor, when you find trying to find a doctor, what is it as Black people do we need to be able to do when we find a doctor? Finding doctors that are culturally uh sensitive, I would guess, naturally. Think about it. Doctors sometimes they consider Black people to have high pain tolerance. Women, when you go to doctors, they don't give you the right pregnancy treatment. These are things that as Black people we have to be adaptive to. If we were in an authentic environment, we wouldn't have to do these things. You know, when we go to school, we have to recognize that we may not be having the same support system because they see us as the Black person. I remember when I was in computer science classes. After a while of getting into the higher level of computer science class, I was one of the few Black people there. So I tried my best to navigate that system and adapt to that system within the Black people that were there. We tried to compare notes, but then even understanding that as a Black person, I probably needed to do extra more. So, but having a core understanding of how to navigate this system is is probably the best thing. Salute to, oh my goodness, we got the money in the building. I didn't even notice that. Salute to GBG. We're gonna stop on that note real quick and we're gonna give some
donations, 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 gifts, gifts, gifts.
so salute to Big Bad Bull GBJ gang for the $20. He says blessings, good brother. Salute to you. Simon is in the building. Simon, you were asleep for an hour on your damn video. You were asleep for an hour. You gonna have to delete that video, man, because you was snoring like a hog. So salute to you. But essentially, understanding things like conceptual areas where you're gonna, as a human being, have to navigate and express yourself is why you have to be adaptive. These are the important skills to learn. Socially, Black people have always had to, like I said, code switch. We've always had to display our best. That's why the phrase called Sunday best that came from Black people, because Black people would not only during their work week have to display one way in society, dress one way, but then once we got into our authentic environments and displayed our true selves, we decided we created what it was called the Sunday's best, changing of clothing, loud, bright colors. These are things that have been traditionally passed down for years and years. So understanding that your interpersonal skills, forming relationships with people. As Black people, we have to form our relationships. We have to become more adaptive because, like I said, the environment is not conducive to us to be our authentic selves. Understanding social cues, understanding when you're getting microaggressed against, walking into the store every time. I remember as a young kid, my parents used to say, keep your hands out your pocket, you're a Black child. These are things that we had to adapt to because we understood the microaggressions against us, and cooperating with others. So how can I, as a Black person, cooperate with others, knowing that I have high regard and deep respect for myself, and understanding and having the intelligence that these other people view me differently or have some type of view of negative against me? How do I do that? I still want to, I do not want to lower myself. A lot of times we see black people when they get into these spaces, they become less black and more like the other group. No, I want to be more or less like myself. I want to be more black. I want to be treated as a black man. I want to be respected as a black man. But I do understand as a black man, I have to navigate this environment differently than most people. This is why it's important to have great adaptive ability skills. And then just having practical skills, you know, to your daily living. You know, I have this type of hair, you know, curly hair. So, you know, I buy products like a sponge. You know, I have this little spongy thing that I have, and this is a black product. This is uniquely for black people. Understanding that, you know, some people call these naps. I've changed my behavior in calling them naps. These are curls. They actually naturally curl up. These are things that I have to, and affirmations that I have to put in my mind, you know, understanding what do I put on my clothes? How do I dress? Do I put guns and drugs? I used to tell kids all the time, you have literally 4 drugs on you have lean, you have crack cocaine, you have weed, you got skull bones on your body. How does that, how do people perceive you? You know, sagging your pants. These are things that, you know, to be truly authentic and when you're in yourself, you have to learn how to understand your personal, what you're projecting off. And becoming adaptive means that you understand that I want to show my true self, and you don't need to adopt what's going on or what is expected. Uh, Not only that, you know, how else do I navigate this scenario, this world? I need to start taking security over my neighborhoods. I need to use my money in black businesses. I need to, you know, navigate the community and start being a part of the community because this culturally, I need to be authentic. I need to thrive to have a space where I'm safe, where I'm able to express myself. If I'm not doing the active work, then I'm not going to be able to be authentic. And a lot of times we see this and when black people move to white neighborhoods, we just start adopting what they do. But essentially, we want to be able to be free and authentic. And the reasons it's not given to us. This is not given to us. This is earned. This is earned. This idea of having a safe space has to be earned because America's doesn't benefit from black people being authentic. They benefit mostly from black people being very aberrant and adopting stuff. So once again, learning why we have these kind of skills will help everybody, you know, understand what's going on. So I'm gonna play a video real quick. Let me set it up. And like I said, I'm not gonna be here a long time, but I wanted to make sure that we covered adaptive. All right, this is a TED Talk from a Raquel Martin. She's in the middle of talking about something in regards to the health system and how black people have and how the medical system needs to be more culturally adaptive. More culturally adaptive. Black, you know, like understanding that black issues are natively black. We're not just case studies. So let's go.
What happened? You walk yourself through the steps. You utilize patient-centered care because your training taught you that so often black patients aren't even engaged in treatment options, they're just given to them. You empowered her and used a strength-based perspective because you learned in your training so often black patients are treated from a framework of deficits, which is also harmful. You did everything that you were taught to do. But what you missed is what wasn't included in the training. And what so often is not included in the trainings because they seem to make others uncomfortable. And that is the fact that when your skin is weaponized, everything is a privilege. Authenticity is a privilege because everything can be perceived as a threat. From the tone of your voice to the way that you wear your hair. Did you know that black women were 1.5 times more likely to know someone who were sent home for their hairstyle or to be sent home for their hairstyle. And this isn't limited to the workplace. Hair discrimination has been found in youths as young as 5 years old. The Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair is a piece of legislation that was created by 4 phenomenal women who felt that Black individuals should not be held back and discriminated against in the workplace and in school because of the way that they wore their hair. However, not even 50% of states in the United States have enacted this piece of legislation. In fact, although it passed the House in March 2022, it was blocked in the Senate in December in 2022. I want you to think about that for a second. How many times when you think of privileges do you think about authenticity? When you take a step to ruminate on that, I want you to ask yourself, has legislation ever had to be passed so that you were not retaliated against for the way that you wore your hair, the way that it came out of your head? What's more authentic than that? That stress, that anxiety that your patient felt could likely have been a result of stereotype threat. This is a form of stress and anxiety that presents itself when you have a fear of conforming to a stereotype that is attributed to your group. Now, there are many egregious stereotypes when it comes to Black people, but a very common one deals with the lack of intellect. If I am working and stereotype threat presents itself, and it often does, I will create so much mental energy combating that stereotype. I'm not stupid, I'm smart, I can do this, let me check, triple check, and double check, that I won't even divert the right amount of energy to perform the task that is well within my ability to do, which will contribute to significantly more mistakes.
So as you guys can see, is she talks about authentic behavior. She talks about being authentic, being treated authentic. What effects does having your authenticity attacked? A lot of us, we got to understand that. We have to understand. A lot of us, I don't know how many of you guys really subconsciously understand that when we go out to certain places, we may say, hey, I'm a Black person. I need to dress appropriately. I need to talk appropriately. I need to have my hair a certain way. I need to cut my beard a certain way. I do not want to be perceived in a certain manner. These are all microaggressions in an environment that treats you as if you're not belonging. Excuse me. So when you have these microaggressions going against you, when you have these things going against you, you still have to have a high regard and deep respect for your own self. You have to be able to then combat those things. Then you need to go into an adaptive behavioral type. As you can see, I still wear my hair the way I do, but then I also get it trimmed up, get it a certain style that is acceptable for the American workforce. I've cut my hair sometimes because I know that if I'm looking for a particular job, they're not going to accept the way that I look at in its frame, even though I am my authentic self, even though my hair is clean, it is manicured, it is treated rightly. In these spaces or in the workforce, American workforce, you're not going to get treated the same. How many times have you heard brothers say, you need to cut your hair if you want to get a good job? These are microaggressions against authentic people. I've seen plenty of times white people walking into jobs with ponytails, man buns. Asian people too, all these types of styles and long hair, but we can't grow our hair longer than 1/4 of an inch. These are microaggressions against us, and therefore we have to then become adaptive. To become adaptive, we have to demand that, once again, our human value system, our culture needs to be respected, which is why there's things when she talked about is the King Act, or the Crown Act, sorry. Now, another part that kind of she alluded to was the treatment in regards to medical practice. How do you select a doctor who's just not treating you as a stereotype, giving you microaggressions, saying that you don't feel pain, that you don't hurt that much, you're not eating correctly, you're probably not focusing. Now, mind you, she's speaking from a psychologist's point of view. Think about it when you go into, say, therapy sessions, and your therapist has really no cultural identity towards you, and tells you to go do some activities that really culturally you don't identify with. These are things like, once again, you have to be mindful of, and that's why you have to be adaptive and have an adaptive behavior to where you demand high regard and and respect from your environment. So salute to everybody that's in the chat. Salute Nino. Salute the gas mask, savage.com, and Tawana G. I see you, girly. But these are things that, like I said, these are microaggressions that against black people that we all have to be able to identify, and we all have to be able to navigate. You can't complain about it. Everything isn't worth complaining, but things are worth demanding and respect, because once again, once you understand that you deserve to be authentic, you're going to drive yourself every way to Sunday to get that authentic self. These are, once again, value systems that we demand as humans, because when you have, per se, a sense of self, when you have a sense of belonging, becoming, and being, it is a human right. You know, we have a indisputable connection to the creator. So demanding those is nothing new. Demanding these ideologies is nothing new. So therefore, as black people, once again, we need it. There's nothing wrong with stating that I'm black and I'm proud. Now, we do understand that you can't do it everywhere, and you do understand that every microaggression against you cannot be fought. But we have to understand that, what am I to do, and how much high regard do I have for myself? Because what ends up happening is that once you do not believe that it's worth it, you start adopting it. You start adopting everything that's microaggression against you. You start going into your workplace, and when people talk to you in a certain manner, and you know you deserve their same respect, but because you're a black person, you say, you know what, I'm just gonna accept it. So you start adopting microaggression. You stop speaking up in ways that you know that are righteous, in ways that are truthful, because it's just, you're just being black. You're just being black. That's what a lot of these things, these situations come down to, is that they want you not to be your true authentic self. But no, I have high regard and I have deep respect for myself. Therefore, I will fight for my true authentic self, and I will truly adapt to whatever's going on. I will not adopt having my child's hair having a permanent. I will not adopt wearing clothes that I do not find skinny jeans to be fashionable. I will not adopt a lot of the traits that go against my true African nature, accepting things that black men don't accept. You know, I have nothing wrong with the gay community, but let's be honest. That is not a natively black talking point. It has been merged in the civil rights era, but through organizations. But at the same time, black people are traditionally or socially conservative. So how do we adapt? How do we adapt to these microaggressions against our true nature? How do we get recognized as a person that is becoming, being, and belonging in a society? So this is what adaptive behavior is really about. You know, we understand that there's things that are going on, but we have to move and kind of understand that you're not going to be able to change. I'm not my authentic self, but a lot of stuff is going on. So adaptive behavior is intertwined with resilience and survival. It is how individuals and communities have historically adapted to challenges, emerge stronger and more resilient. This is why we always are so, how do we say, protectors or gatekeepers of our music, of our dances, of the way we talk, because we understand that this is our culture and we deserve to have some authentic behavior in there. We'll adapt and we'll put it in our certain ways, but at the same time, we deserve our authentic behavior. You know, it our social norms are always constantly being tested. Uh, Raising the black fist, giving each other a pound, hugging each other, yelling and screaming. What is the stereotype for black people is that we yell and we scream in the movie theaters and we talk through the movies. That is something that is uniquely black because we are an expressive people. We're not a docile race or a docile group of people. We speak loud and voicefully. These are social norms that, once again, if you were, say, a person with low regard and and you felt as if you didn't deserve to be on the same footing, you would start adapting those type of behaviors. When you're, we go to any black graduation, we yelling and screaming. This is something that culturally, as us as black people do, we cheer for each other. Now I've seen people be scared to cheer because you've started to adopt the low regard and respect for your own kind, your own people, your own narrative, your own speech, your own talking voice. These are microaggressions against you, and you're not even noticing it. We as black people have a traditions, and these traditions need to be passed on. And I think, once again, to be our true selves, we have to understand that I hold myself in high regard and respect. I keep pointing to I keep pointing to these behavioral charts. Once again, you're gonna have an adaptive behavior when you have high regard and deep respect. No matter what, when you have a respect for yourself and you have a high regard for yourself, you're always going to be either authentically operating or you're going to be adaptively operating. Anything less than that, you're truly adopting what the environment brings to you. So, and the reason why is because, like the woman said, psychologically, how does that help your well-being? How does being authentic help your well-being? How does being adaptive help your well-being? Well, for one thing, you're constantly fighting for or fighting against the system that is trying to keep you in their pockets. But at the same time, when you're being controlled, when your culture is being controlled, you're always going to be constantly driven. Spend this on this. This is to be happy. As black people, we need to spend it on this. We need to talk like this. We need to walk like this. We need to wear these type of individual clothing. But no. As black people, I'm in a high regard and deep respect state of mind. I don't need to buy those things. Psychologically, I don't need to take that attitude. Psychologically, I don't need to pass on your aggressions into my mental mind state. Your fights aren't my fights. Once again, we're talking about Israel and Palestine. These aren't things that black people we need to be worried about. Ukraine and Russia. These aren't things that we need to be worried about. But if I'm in an adoptive nature where I believe that I'm not a true black man or a true black woman, I need to start adopting it. I need to start worrying about these world events where it has nothing to do with me. I need to start talking about Taylor Swift and cultures that and ideas and philosophies that really have nothing to do with me. I need to start burdening myself because I've now adopted a different culture, a different ideology. I don't have the same high regard and respect for myself. But now that I do have the respect for myself, none of that stuff matters. If it doesn't affect my community, who I am as an individual, my families, and the societal norms that affect me and what my culture does, then it becomes less of a burden to me. Not only that, the people who are in the culture then become wait. I'm always authentic. I'm not I'm not hit. I'm not. I'm not human. I'm always authentic. Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. But see, you guys have to understand that being adaptive is a source of empowerment. Discovering how to, as individuals, how to adapt your culture, your wisdom, asserting agency against other philosophies and other cultural norms, contributing not only to your personal growth but to also to the progress of the community. We do this. I think a lot of times we forget jumping the broom in a wedding is something that black people. This is a black notion. This is something that black people do. Imagine adopting a philosophy or a community or a culture where they tell you that, nah, we're not going to jump the broom. What? Wait. Then I'm not being authentic then. Now we gonna have to look. We gonna have to adapt this stuff. We gonna have to make something. We gonna have some black in this wedding. We gonna have some black in this ceremony. We gonna have some black in this workplace. See, that's how you become adaptive. Like a lot of times, you realize that even in your workplace environment, that there's no. You realize you really protect a lot of the microaggressions against your authentic self. You start adopting stuff. Oh yeah, it's all good during Christmas time. Secret Santa, all this stuff. What about Kwanzaa? Can I put my Kwanzaa can I put my Kwanzaa picture right here? Oh no, Tim. No, Jamal. Let's just keep it on Christmas. Microaggression. No, I want to be my authentic self. I want to see my own culture being reflected here because all I'm doing here is reflecting on your culture. I'm adopting your way of thinking. So that's how we need to, because as a person of high regard and respect, we need to also push the envelope on demanding for your cultural identity to be valued as a human being. We have to create political ideological stuff. We have to have strategies within our community. We have to demand being fostered by a community of awareness. Respect my blackness. Not abuse my blackness, not take advantage of my blackness. Understand that I am a black person and I respect myself and I demand the respect of myself. I'm tired of seeing other cultures and race call everything black ghetto. No, it's not ghetto. We just have a different way of talking. We just have a different way of communicating with each other. We have a different way of speaking to each other. Everything positive is not God. Everything positive they take out of our community, but then at the same time they leave us with the ghetto stuff. Every TikTok video you see, it's all good, but we're just not doing it ghetto. No, you're just not doing it the black way. You have to become adaptive because you want to empower yourself. You want to empower your community. You want to empower ourselves to navigate life's twists and turns. Become enlightened in this journey of adaptive behavior. Historically, we have to have certain things be respected. Understanding that there's resilience in the American experience. There is honor in having cultural identity and cultural behavior because we want to honor and align ourselves with cultural roots. These are binding to our community. Once again, I bring up the identity. I always bring up the culture of gun culture. Gun culture has its own checks and balances. Gun culture people will tell you never point your gun at somebody in a certain way. Gun culture teaches you not to have your gun around kids. They have their own checks and balances within that culture. They have their own praise in that culture. They understand, well, like for instance, in when John Morant was waving his gun in his car, everybody in the gun culture said that was irresponsible. So having a culture does have its checks and balances, which is why it's important for black people to have its authentic culture, have its own adaptive culture. We have to demand, we have to work it, we have to tweak it, we have to be malleable with it. Not be afraid of it, not run away from it. Understanding that the psychological empowerment that claiming one authentic self brings. The complexities of life, we then have something to ride on. I hate to harp on it. When somebody says black culture is trash, you're being really aberrant to what the main goal of that was. Because you're basically saying that everything that a human values and loves is just not worth it. Therefore, you need to adopt everything else. Once again, we need to have practical strategies inspired. We need to be able to cultivate adaptive behavior grounded in cultural wisdom. We need to also be able to reflect and become more aware that we have the responsibility to hold ourselves in high regard. And when you hold that responsibility, you then have to fight and maintain it. So once again, that's it. I don't got no more. I'm tired. There's a lot of stuff that I actually want to watch. If anybody want to come up, I'm sorry. I'm giving y'all 10 minutes. I'm giving y'all 10 minutes. If anybody wants to talk about adaptive behavior, y'all can come up and talk about it. But once again, like I said, I think yesterday was talking about being truly who you are, having authentic behavior, and not having to deal with the microaggressions. But what happens when your reality becomes you're dealing with the microaggressions and the macroaggressions? Who are you as a human being? How do you react? How do you demand those things? You need to have an adaptive behavior, which means that you have to have a high regard and deep respect for yourself. Once you start respecting yourself and respecting the community and respecting the culture and respecting the human value within each other, then you can start making changes in the community to then move yourself back into authentic behavior. But other than that, look, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I didn't plan on being here too long. I didn't want to make this a long stream. If nobody's going to come up, I'm fine with that. Trust me. I'm fine with that. I want to eat. I want to eat and enjoy my time. But I appreciate everybody from here who is here. Please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I appreciate everybody here. This was Adaptive Behavior.
Walking down this lonely road, damn near almost lost my soul. But now that I'm in control, what they gonna do? Can no evil hold me down? Let no evil hold me down. When your will is on the